Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for being with us today. I'd like to welcome each of you to another FranTastic InSights video segment whereby we introduce you to some very prominent personalities, all of whom are having a very positive impact on the ever growing world of franchising. My name is David Craghead. I'm the Chief Franchise Expansion Officer for FranServe, and today I'll be your host for this week's FranTastic InSights podcast. FranServe, for those of you who may not be familiar with us, we're recognized as the world's largest franchise consulting and expansion organization. Our mission is quite simple, and that is we change people's lives in a very positive way through franchise ownership. And we do that through a network of incredible franchise brands in 39 different industry categories. Our growth initiatives are supported by a growing portfolio of franchise consultants. Some of you probably refer to consultants as brokers. They're the same person, they perform the same function, and all of them are dedicated to helping their clients explore franchise opportunities which are deemed to be a perfect match for their individual search criteria. That's what we do. We match up the talent to the brands. And today I'd like to introduce you to Kirby Lavallee. Kirby, I hope I pronounced your last name correctly. Does that sound
Lavallee,
close?
you're pretty close.
Say it again, Lavallee?
Yep, you're pretty close.
Okay, good. I try not to mispronounce people's names. Kirby is the Chief Operating Officer and Chief Success Coach of a very not dynamic and progressive franchise brand by the name of Cake Girl. It was launched in 2008 by Christina Lavallee, and Christina is Kirby's wife. Just so happens they have the same last name. Isn't that convenient? And they're best known, the brand is best known and recognized from the Today Show to Telemundo and to Entrepreneur Magazine. You've probably seen them in those different venues. The Cake Girl has been making headlines and turning heads with custom cakes that are as bold as they are beautiful. Wait till you see some of these. They're outstanding. So, Kirby, thank you for joining us today. And as I pass the microphone to you, please share your business model description for the Cake Girl franchise brand. And if you would, please provide the audience with your best description of the prevailing differentiators that are unique to your brand.
Well, thank you so much for having me, David. I'm excited to be here. And as you said, obviously, I'm with the Cake Girl. And our business model is unique because it's built around really two things, right? Quality and experience. So what we really focus on at the Cake Girl is really making a premium dessert experience for the guest, but through multiple revenue streams. So we have our custom cakes, we have our daily treats, our award-winning mini cupcakes, and we also ship our craving cups, which are cake jars. We ship those nationwide. So those are also things that our franchisees can put into local wholesalers or retailers in their markets. So they create additional revenue streams that way. What really makes us stand out is the level of excellence that we put into everything that we do here. So all of our stuff from cupcakes and cakes is all made from scratch here daily in our bakery. So we really strive to deliver that excellent product, but also excellent customer service. And as part of that, we've been featured all over, like you mentioned in your intro, with TV, media placements, etc. So the major media outlets, the celebrity cakes that we do, the influencer marketing, that's all stuff that continues to differentiate ourselves in the market. And people also travel to get our products, right? So we have people traveling from all over the state. We have people that have seen Christina on different national media platforms that are, when they're coming to the Tampa Bay area, they're making sure that they're stopping here at the Cake Girl as part of that experience that they want while they're in town. And now we're giving franchise owners that same level of quality and service and the ability to bring that excitement into their own markets. So that kind of really differentiates what we do rather than other dessert options.
You mentioned franchise owners. For the benefit of the audience members who are watching this podcast, tell us in your words how you would describe the ideal candidate for a franchisee for the Cake Girl. What's that person look like? What characteristics do they bring to you?
So that person definitely has to be an outgoing person, right? They have to love community. They don't necessarily have to be a baker, right? But they definitely have to be somebody that loves community, loves leading a team, and loves being the best at what they do. So really, I mean, if you're a good communicator and you are a strong leader, you just have to basically love to be able to give a quality product to people. You have to love serving people, and you have to be passionate, right? I think passion is something that shines through in everything that we do, because when we're really creating that experience from the first time that somebody walks through our door and they're like, I want to get a cake for my wedding or a cake for a birthday, we're really the ones that are making that really special moment happen for them. So that ideal candidate has to be able to deliver that level of service. And they also have to be somebody that is able to follow a system, right? They have to lead with integrity, and they want to have a business that they're proud of, which I think everybody that works at the Cake Grill is super proud of what we do. So that's definitely important also when it comes to a franchisee.
And as you expand your brand across the country, how do you design your territory metrics? What are they? What do the territories look like in terms of scope?
So really what we've looked at is real data, right? When we're looking at territories, figuring out like, what does the data say? So is it population? Is it income levels? Is it event volume, tourism, growth trends? So what our real estate team is looking at when we're identifying those territories is really looking at what does the data support, right? So we want every owner to have that room to be successful in their own market, right? We don't want to be overcrowded. We don't want to have cake girls on every corner. We are a little bit unique in that aspect of we are going to be more destination hubs, right? Where people are going to seek us out. And we want our franchisees to really be supported in those areas. So just really thoughtfully and intentionally looking at those territories as we continue to grow, and making sure that we're making good data driven, um, you know, I lost you. I actually didn't hear anything. Your
Yeah, I hit
microphone
the
went
mute
out.
button by mistake. What I was saying, sorry about that. What I was saying to you, as you grow your brand across the country, do you anticipate any regional influences on the Cake Girl menu?
So obviously, there's different dynamics in every market, right? So what we do anticipate is as we continue to grow, there may be those seasonal or local flavors that are community driven, right? Depending on what area of the nation that you're in. So I think that based on those unique differentiators, we may have some areas of the country that may have some seasonal things that we could roll out across the nation. So I think as long as we're doing it, quality, and we're looking at creativity and creating a great customer experience, we could definitely be flexible in those regards.
The mute button. I would imagine that you have um, themes for holidays too. Would that be correct?
We do, yeah. So every holiday we roll out typically a mini cupcake offering, which would be themed for that holiday, and we normally do a themed cake, which we like a cake design that we release on pre-orders. So every single holiday season we will have something like that, in addition to 85 total combinations of flavors that we have in our mini cupcakes. So those also come with seasonal varieties as well. Like right now, we're heavy in pumpkin, getting ready to shift into the Christmas flavors, which would be more gingerbreads and peppermints and spiced options. So we are always evolving with the trends, and then we're also trying to capitalize on that holiday themed, uh, ideas that we can make sure that we drive additional revenue through those online platforms.
Okay. And as you gear up for the holidays, does that change? Is it spread across all of your franchisees? So they accept it the same way as you do at the corporate headquarters?
Yeah, so everybody will basically be reading from the same sheet of music, right? We want somebody to walk into a corporate location or a franchise location and get the exact same feel, look, and experience. So flavors, designs, all of that kind of stuff will be uniform across the whole system, so that way everybody is creating that same exceptional experience for the customer. And if they walk into a store in Tampa, Florida, or they walk into a store in New York City, they feel like they're in the same environment.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about any influence that you're experiencing, if any, with the current economy. Does that affect the cake girl?
So, something that we found in every single season, right, of the economy, and something that we've been looking at over our time is that celebrations don't stop no matter what type of economy you have. So, at the Cake Girl, we're focusing on birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, corporate business, and people are buying cakes and cupcakes for all of those occasions. And we've also built a model that's very lean and efficient. So, something that can really stay strong with our margins and our repeat business and the different revenue streams that we have, so that we have been able to adapt very well through each of these economic times, including the one that we're in now. But yeah, we've gone through in the last 5, 6 years, we've gone through COVID, we've gone through a lot of different inflations, and still we've been noticing year over year growth because we're continuing to adapt and we're continuing to add efficiencies into our system to make sure that we're able to be competitive in those markets no matter what is thrown at us.
You mentioned the year to year growth. Are you expecting any changes over the next 1 to 3 years in your business model? Any additions or expansions of the model itself?
So right now, we're really focusing on our franchise development, right? We're a brand new emerging brand. So over the next 3 to 5 years, we're really focusing on that smart strategic growth. And really what we're focusing on is the hot markets in the Florida area, as well as national, I would say legacy cities. But really what we're focusing on over that next, I'd say 1 to 3 and 3 to 5 years is really just continuing to grow our platform that we currently have, as well as our cake jars, which are called Craven Cups. We're looking to get those into more retail. That's going to provide additional exposure for our franchisees and our franchise brand. So just grabbing, adding more grab and go options, evolving with the times, figuring out what people are really wanting to indulge in when they come, and just being very intentional with our efforts as far as making sure that we're protecting our territories for our franchisees and we're making sure that everybody is set up for long-term success. That's our main focus.
You mentioned the hot territories there in Florida. Are there any other really desirable spots around the country that you'd like for us to help you grow the brand into?
So I was actually speaking with a consultant the other day, and he said, you know what? I could see the cake girl really being in those legacy cities like the New York, Atlanta, LA, San Francisco, those real big tourist destinations, Vegas, etc., that, people are flocking to. And I actually spoke to an interested party the other day that came organically through our website, and he's in Pigeon Forge, and he said, you know what? I think that the cake girl should be in all of these areas where tourists are coming, because he learned about us by seeing Christina on the Today Show. And he said, I've been following the journey since, and I've been really looking for these type of experiences when I travel with my family. And he's like, this would be something that would be perfect in an environment like that. So I think really just focusing on those really high impact areas, Orlando, Miami, Sarasota, Jacksonville, those ones in Florida are super hot for us, but also not closing our doors and saying, hey, we're not interested to consider other areas as we continue to ramp up.
Yeah, I just got back from Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, and you're right, the cake girl would be a huge hit there.
Yes.
I can just envision your presence there. Um, Next question I have for you is, with your new franchisees, as they come on board and once they've signed the franchise agreement, what does the ramp up time look like from the signing to the ribbon cutting?
I mean, realistically, everybody will tell you in the market 6 to 8 months, right? But I think realistically, what we're seeing across the board here now is like a 12 to 16 months, from site selection to construction to getting materials. So I really like to say, I think that 12-month is an ideal realistic window that somebody should be looking at when they're really considering how to get started. And that's what I've seen through firsthand experience when we built this second location that we have here in Tampa, but also other brands that I've chatted with. They're looking at what they used to consider a 6 to 8 month is now, 12 and 16. So I think really just it depends on that really good site selection, the lease negotiation, the build out, the equipment procurement, and really just making sure like everything is set up for that training phase so that you can really hit the ground running on that ribbon cutting day.
Very good. Um, Talk to us a little bit about your training, both classroom and in location.
So, and that's a good question, right? Support doesn't stop just when you open the bakery, right? So I think that it really comes down to developing that strong foundation before we even get started. And what that looks like is normally the franchisee coming in here to get that really good hands-on training in our corporate location. And that could be anywhere, at a minimum of a couple weeks of ongoing training here at the bakery hands-on, and then also equating over to a couple weeks at their bakery once they're getting ready to get launched. But really, what I found is that the people that succeed in any business are those that don't just do the bare minimum, right? Those that are willing to really invest and to get their hands dirty and really learn the operation. And I think that's something that the Cake Girls, we're a family, right? So we really want our franchisees to be successful. So I don't like to just put a cap on it. Yeah, it's the 2 weeks here and the 2 weeks there is our minimum standards. But I think that really, as much as somebody wants to get involved, we open them with open arms and say, hey, we want you to succeed. We all win together. And I think by doing that, right, we're able to all continue to win and grow the brand and propel it forward. So
Very good. Kirby, I want to thank you for being so thorough with your answers. That's very helpful. In fact, your answers are kind of leading me from the next question to the next question, which makes it really easy for me. So thank you for that. As we come to the end of this process, is there one takeaway from today's podcast that you would want our viewers to know about your brand that we may not have talked about just yet?
So I always say if there's one thing that you remember about the Cake Girl, right? We're built on a few different things, but we're built on excellence, creativity, and heart, right? So we care deeply about our customers, but we also care deeply about our community and our franchise owners. And we want to really have that good reputation of being great community members. So if you're looking for a brand with momentum, with integrity, and a passion for community and in creating really just unforgettable experiences, then this is the time for you to join. And I would love for you to consider the Cake Girl as an option when you're looking at becoming a business owner.
Very good. That's a nice wrap up, Kirby. Thank you. And tell Christina that you did good today, okay?
Thank you so much for having us.
Okay, I'd really like to thank you for the privilege of your time today. I know this may not have been the most convenient time for you, but this entire interview will be posted on the FranServe support site. It'll also be archived in the FranServe library, and it'll be uploaded to Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And with that, Kirby, we will adjourn today's FranTastic Insight session. Thank you very much, sir. We'll see
Thank you.
you next time.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.